kid who don't know what the city is getting. The creme de la creme of the chess world in a show with everything but you, Brenner. Bangkok, just another stop in the chess world circus. Masters drop in, play, checkmate, check out, and then you move on to another venue, like Iceland, or the Philippines, or Hastings, or this place. One night in Bangkok and the world's your oyster. The bars are temples, but the pearls ain't free. You'll find a god in every golden cluster. And if you're...
Tea is already in.
Oh, go easy with the muffins.
Penelope, Miss Gillen is here.
Who?
Miss Gillen.
What about her?
She's here.
Oh.
Do hurry down, dear. Miss Gillen is hurt.
Good. I'm terribly sorry.
Such a keen sense of humor. But where were we? Of course, the pulpit.
Mr. Toop, I will come straight to the point. I have reason to believe that the pulpit was decorated behind my back by Mrs. Toop.
Oh dear, yes, most awkward.
Of course, I have nothing against Mrs. Toop personally. Nothing at all. But there are some who do not think it quite the thing for the vicar's wife to appear in the village wearing trousers, even in these times.
Penelope, there is something in that closet.
Oh, no, it's nothing. Just the cat.
The cat?
Yes, it's just Tiddles sleeping in there. She's slept in there for years.
Well then, it's about time she's come out. Stop him or I shoot.
Uncle, don't open the door.
Why not?
It might be dangerous.
Dangerous? Why?
Dangerous? Why? Oh, she's going to have kittens.
Oh, I love the little thing! I wonder how many she'll have. I am tired.
Tired? I'm exhausted.
Shall we go to bed?
Yes. Certainly not.
The money.
What?
The money.
Oh, yes, very well. I'll get you some. Good night, my puppet.
Good night, my puppet.
What are you doing in that closet, Your Highness?
Oh, I was just having a look at the old cat.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. She's tiddly.
Oh, and she had her kittens.
What? You're upset, and no wonder after the frolicking round you've had tonight. Been kind of taken out of yourself, haven't you?
Yes, and the sooner I put back, the better. It's strawberry. I saw. It was strawberry yogurt.
This is true. And before that, it was blueberry.
So?
What are you, stupid? He's getting signals. With the choice of yogurt. He's cheating.
Mr. Trump.
Don't be so damn naive. Is this a joke?
in your underpants.
I have never run around a garden in my underpants.
Just how mad are you?
I don't know. I was completely sane when I entered this house.
I'm wondering if you think you saw what I thought I saw.
Well, what did you think you thought you saw?
I think I thought, did a pair of underpants just run up those stairs?
They did, but they were inhabited.
Did you see it?
Yes!
Who was it?
The vicar!
The vicar? But you just said that he was the vicar. Who are you? Don't lie.
Stand
You're
back.
not. What?
Don't move, any of you.
Here, what the...
First one who moves gets a bullet through the head.
But Mr. Two,
This is not my husband!
not.
No!
But you said just now that he was!
Don't vicar, vicar!
You cannot always choose who you work for.
True. And I've noticed you seem to have the same problem.
We wish, nor must, make our disgust at this obvious perfectly clear. We're here for chess, are the U.S. If so, why foul the atmosphere?
I must protest. Our delegation has a host of valid points to raise.
It's not just black and white, if I may coin a phrase as any neutral would attest.
Though I concede, the fact your masters bend the rules is maybe not your fault. If they withdraw their psychological assault, then under protest he'll
If
proceed.
your man's so sweet, then why his fighting talk? If he says we cheat, then why on earth did he go take a walk?
I am not surprised. He wanted fresher air once he realized there was no hope of your guys playing fair.
It's very sad to see the and distinguished game that used to be a model of decorum and tranquility become like any other sport, a battleground for rival ideologies to slug it out with glee.
Remember, as one door closes, another opens! Oh, then do come in.
Listen. I am desperate man.
Well, I'm not exactly carefree!
Do you know who I am?
My dear, I've been trying to place you all the evening.
Out there, in the garden, there are men looking for me.
What? Oh no, you're mistaken. It's not you
I
they're-
tell you, they're looking for me in your garden.
Well, they've got a nice night for it. What on earth? Put that thing away. It might be loaded.
It is.
What?
Be quiet. If you value your life, you must help me.
But
Are you feeling any better?
oh gosh,
Too late. They're here. Sit down.
Look here.
I am your husband. You understand?
Oh no. I remember him.
Your husband.
You make it clear that he has to be here. Does he understand? He will lose his title.
Straightforward the game, when all its rules are respected.
Here, there are no exceptions.
Rules are the same for a champion or for a novice. No show, no dice, no appeals, no exceptions. No way.
He knows what it's gonna cost
Does
him.
the player exist in any human endeavor?
Do you think he cares what it's gonna cost him?
Choosing no to resist. Sirens of fame and possessions threaten to cut off supplies and hell come out to play.
He's a broken man. Couldn't back in Moscow.
Tell me who is true. Tawdry untruths about but sufficient to lead them astray.
Selfish little creep, everybody suffers.
No expert in chess, but hazardous prognostication.
Selfish little creep, everybody suffers.
Late Mr. S has better chances of winning the Kentucky Derby than keeping his title today.
Selfish little creep, everybody suffers. We don't see the jerk, even coming second.
Each game of chess means there's one less.
How you startled me, Mr. Toop. Mr. Toop, I shall soon begin to think I'm in a madhouse.
Right. You ought to know. Your house, too.
Toop, this is the vicarage, isn't it?
Why ask me, Toop?
Why do you keep calling me Toop? Toop?
Toop? Toop?
No.
My name is Humphrey.
Variation left to be played. Each day got through.
One town's very like another when your head's down over your pieces, brother.
Dragons float, it's really such a pity to be looking at the board, not looking at the sea.
What do you mean? You see one crowded, polluted, stinking town, you see them all. Get tired, you're talking to a tourist whose every move's among the purest. I get my kicks above the waistline, sunshine.
One night in Bangkok makes a hard man humble. Now much between despair and ecstasy. One night in Bangkok and the tough guys tumble. Can't be careful with your company. I can feel the devil walking next to me.
Siam's gonna be the witness, the ultimate test of cerebral fitness. This grip's made more than when a muddy old river reclining Buddha.
Means one or two less mistakes remain to be made.
Skilling! And with him sporting on the green, little grandchild with me.
Heavens, Miss Skilling, what has happened to you?
I'm a better man than you are, Gungadin.
Almost. Miss Skilling, do you feel well enough to sit up?
Sit up? Where?
Oh, really? You must pull yourself together. How did you get here in this condition?
Oh, my legs! What's the matter with my legs?
Your legs?
My legs! They lack coordination!
Well, perhaps if I,
Oh, caveman!
Yes. Do you feel any better?
Better than what?
Oh, really, Miss Skilling, you must get a grip on yourself.
Oh, that woman! She struck me!
What? What woman? Oh, Miss Skilling, what has happened in this house tonight?
Shh! It'll be our little secret.
Our little secret.
When I saw what that woman was doing to you!
To me? What woman?
Oh, my heart leapt for you. No wonder she wears trousers.
Created hopelessly.
Oh, Maisie, don't sit down, the landy ivy. What's that?
Smell.
Oh, California, here I come.
What have I done? Oh, Miss Skilling. Brandy. Sit up. Here, drink this.
Well, don't mind me.
Not much is known of early days of chess beyond a fairly vague report that 1,500 years ago.
It is very sad to see, sad to see again that once Mr. King among those two moments
That used to be tranquility has become rather like the other was free, and the other sport like a battleground. So it's very sad to see the ancient tendency to start to battle, grapple, rather like the other team.
that should be taught like
Any other sport, battleground, like the other team. How it's very sad to see again. Tranquility, a battleground, a place to slug it out and glean.
Mr. Sergeyevsky, you wouldn't consider abstaining.
Are you suggesting?
I'm not suggesting anything, only that we continue on with this match.
I will be in my room, packing. Such a waste.
People have invested millions of dollars in us, Mr. Malkov, in chess.
This is not my
It
problem!
damn well is your problem. So what do you suggest we do? Let it all collapse on the first day? Let selfishness dictate to us? Not while I'm the arbiter of this match! Here's the message I want you to get across. Tomorrow morning, I expect to see 2 smiling players at the table. I'll amend that. I don't care if they're smiling. I don't care if they're bleeding. 2 warm bodies are what's required. That's all!
So great. You're able to work really closely with a bunch of great people. Mars is great, and you kind of develop a family as you work through everything, and you're really close by the end, and you're really sad when it's over, but you make really great friends.
I think we have a great theater program. I think we're really lucky to have the people running it that we do. Mars and Mr. Neville are fantastic at their jobs. Mrs. Barris, our music director, is great. And I just think that we're really lucky and can do what a lot of schools can't in terms of our numbers, because we can do really small productions. And I think that's great for the cast because we become like a tight little family.
I think it's a really nice program. I think it works really well. There's great people involved in it, great people running it. Everyone's really dedicated. There's a lot of hard work put into it.
It's amazing. I love Mr. Marsico. He does a really great job of really teaching people how to move on stage. And he does a really good job with balancing the stage and just, I don't know. Everything he does is really great. And all the people involved are really fun and nice, and we're all supportive of each other. So it's great.
Personally, I believe it is one of the strongest programs we actually offer at Salisbury. We always put on a great show. In my personal opinion, I think Mr. Marsico is possibly one of the best directors in the area. And though the sets and everything might seem a little low-key, I think that's kind of what the beauty of it is, that we can put on a great show without having to have some giant special effects or anything. We can just have a small-scale show and still put on one that people will be talking about for at least months after the show.
My opinion on the theater program, wow, it got me started in theater. It's made me passionate about it. It was like I had never even considered it as an option, of something even as a hobby in my life, until I started with Salisbury Theatre. And I started with the first one, and I've been in every single one since, and I've loved every minute of it, and I want to do it for a career now. So
I enjoy the theater program a lot, and I'm glad we have it because it gives me something to do, and I love to perform.
I think it's great. I love being a part of it. I think more people should be involved.
I feel that theater is just a lot of fun, and people get along with each other just because we don't really judge each other, and we're all very close, and we're a big family.
Ooh, definitely, like I said, the small numbers, I know a lot of people are sad that we can't do larger shows, which, you know, I do regret sometimes, but the connections you make with a small cast are phenomenal, and I think everyone becomes so close, and it's just great.
There's just so much, you can't just identify a specific thing. Obviously, as I already stated, everyone who works in it is great. There's a good camaraderie between everyone, like everyone's friends, everyone wants to help each other out, and it just makes really great friends doing theater.
Mars is so crazy and so much fun, and he, to this day, can still do every single part and every single play better than all of us. But we learn so much from him, and he's such a great role model.
I'm doing a thing right now for the Freddie Awards, which Salisbury is involved in, and one of the things I realized that I really like about it is that when you're on that stage with a whole bunch of other people, everybody's on the same high. I mean, like, you don't have to like the people, you don't have to know the people, but you know that they are in love with the same feeling that you are, and that's one of my favorite things about it.
That's a really hard question because I like a lot of it. One of my personal favorite things about the theater is that I like just being able to go up there and perform. I think that's one of my favorite things, that we just get the opportunity to go up there and show people what we can do. And there's some people that go up there and do really well that you would have never even noticed before. And I think that's something that's really special about the program.
I love all the people that are involved. I love the amount of time we kind of get to bond, all of the effort we put into it, and then we see the final product. It's pretty great.
I really enjoy how I think theater programs in general, like all over the place, they really bring people together because you're working with the same people for like hours on end.
I like all the work that we put into it and what we get out of it because it's always worth it.
I don't really have anything bad to say about theater. I enjoy it, and I feel like there's nothing really bad about it.
I just don't like how sometimes we're there until like 1 o'clock in the morning and stuff like that, but it's always worth it, like I said before.
Sometimes it's not very forgiving. It's pretty, you know, if you don't make it, you don't make it, and that's the way it is. And I mean, that's good and it's bad. It makes you want to work hard, but it also means that a lot of really talented people get looked over, and a lot of it takes luck, and it takes skill, and it takes talent, and it takes a lot of practice. So it's a really risky business.
If I had to say anything, it'd be sometimes the longer nights, like as it gets to like 2 weeks before the show, sometimes we spend a lot of time on it, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. It just, you know, kind of builds on you after a while, the lack of sleep. But I mean, we all signed up for it, we all know it's coming, so we all expect it, but still to make it easy. But it's definitely worth it, yeah.
What I like least about it? Definitely the long hours. You lose sleep, mental health goes down the drain. Becomes a problem with schoolwork, but it's definitely worth it in the end.
I'd have to say the fact that it ends. If I could, I would be in theater all year. I'm always so sad when a play is over because we've developed that really close bond and it has to end.
There's not enough people in it. We should have more.
I wish that Mr. Marsko would let us fundraise because we could really use the funding and we don't have that much money, so I wish he would let us fundraise.
Definitely Mars. He's horrible. He's just awful.
It's a lot. I think everyone puts in a lot of effort and everything, but you kind of see the result at the end. It's totally worth it.
It's necessary. I mean, there's a lot of people that, you know, they'll go and try and show, and they'll if you don't commit yourself to it, then it's not going to be the kind of show that you want it to be. It's if you want to make a truly good final product, which I feel that we do here at Salisbury, you have to really commit yourself to it, and you have to have somebody who's willing to tell you what you're doing wrong, even when it sucks and you don't feel like you're doing it wrong.
Oh my gosh, there's so much that you need. You're exhausted by the end. You're literally running home from school, going to get McDonald's or something, and then running back to play practice. But it's really worth it when you give your first performance and you see everyone applauding at the very end. It's so worth it.
Sometimes it stinks because you are up until 1, but then you have to get up for school, and I swim, so sometimes we have to get up at 5 in the morning, so I don't get any sleep at all, and it sucks, but it's definitely worth it. Like I said that already, but whatever.
I think every minute you put into the shows is worth it, because that final product is going to be what comes out of the work you put into it. So sometimes I complain about how long practices are, what else I could be doing with my time, but I know that if you want a good show, you got to put the work into it. So it all pays off.
I feel like there's a lot of time and energy put into the shows, and I feel like that's a good thing because that's what makes it a good show, and we all have a lot of fun putting our time and energy in.
Well, obviously I think we put a lot of time into it, and we definitely put a lot of energy into it. And I feel like it's obviously very, very important that we put all that in. I think it works out really well because we put on a great show every single time, even with all the time we spend on it. When you look at it, 2 to 3 months doesn't really seem like a whole lot of time to put in for a show, but when you think that almost every day of the week we're practicing, it's a lot of time and it's a lot of effort, but when you see us up there, you can tell that it was all put into good use.
I definitely feel like there's a huge amount of energy and time put into the shows, but it's definitely worth it in the end. And from my experience, I've never met anyone who ever regretted doing the theater program.
It's a lot of time, a lot of commitment, a lot of hard work, but I think the outcome overcompensates for all of that, and it's all worth it in the end. So.
I'm involved in swimming during the first show, and that's it.
I'm in debate. That's about it.
During show season, I mostly just I bowl for one thing, but I also play music, but most of those go on hold during theater because I'm really, really focused on making sure everything like that is just set and ready.
Luckily, we don't do shows during the winter, but for swimming, I do swimming at the end of the fall show and just at the beginning of the spring show. So there's not too much overlap, but there is some, and that makes it difficult, running from practice to practice. But it's not too bad.
Nope, I clear everything just for theater.
During show season, I am on the soccer team. And I do debate, and then that's in the fall, and then the spring, I used to, or not the spring, the winter spring, I used to do swimming, and I might do that again this year. I started, what else did I do? Usually it's just sports and academics, but I also do debate and Model UN. Model UN's actually smack in the middle of the play season, so yeah.
Yeah, I play soccer, I swim, and it also kind of cuts into track.
I have in the past. This past year I didn't, but my sophomore year I was involved in tennis during the fall, and I also did track in the spring along with doing the shows. And actually this year, for part of the season in the fall, I was working at Delia's, which is like a girls' clothing store.
Well, this year I will have a job for during show season, and I will also have marching band. So that takes away from time that I could practice stuff for the show. But it really shouldn't be that big of a deal.
It makes it tough. I mean, I discovered my freshman year, it's very like you have to be willing to sacrifice pretty much all of your time to do something or other. So it's like school for 6 hours, then immediately to practice, then you get maybe like a half hour, and then you go to the show, and then all of a sudden it's 9:30, 10 o'clock, and you have to go back and start the whole thing over again the next day. So it's pretty grueling, but it's worth it in the end because you get to do the things that you love, and I mean that's what it's all about, I guess.
It kind of makes it really hard. You kind of never go home. Right after school, you're going to your sport, and then straight to theater, and then you're there until odd hours of the night. It's pretty tough, but it's fun.
For bowling usually does some sense of Saturday things, so that usually isn't affected. In music, I mean, during the musicals it kind of just helps, but in all honesty, most of my life takes the back seat to theater during the time.
It makes it more difficult because, you're really stretching yourself in all different directions because you're, going to school and then you're going to your sports practice or sports game, and that's exhausting. And then you have to go right to rehearsal. Sometimes, I know my sophomore year, I would go from school right to a tennis match, and then I would have to just pick up food and come right to the auditorium for rehearsal. And it was really exhausting.
I work as a lifeguard at Cedar Crest College. I actually don't work during the school year because it's too much with all my activities. But time management is key. With sports and other activities, you gotta get what you can done and then do those practices. And they actually become really nice breaks, like with schoolwork. Swimming, that you have to swim during that time. You can't worry about other stuff. Play practice, you gotta focus on that. So it definitely, there's a time and place for everything, and it's just about balance.
It definitely makes me more tired because swimming's really hard and really tiring, and it doesn't help. But yeah, that's it.
It doesn't really affect me that much. I might just be a bit more tired than usual, but I can handle it.
I just sort of take it one step at a time and do one thing, then the next. I kind of prioritize what's more important to me at the time.
Well, like I said, I pretty much clear my whole schedule just for theater, so it's just school and theater. Lack of sleep I can deal with.
You just kind of have to accept it that life's gonna suck for 2 months while the play's happening and swimming's happening, but it's still fun. It's still enjoyable. It's not terrible all the time.
It's difficult. That's probably one of the hardest things I had to do in high school, but it makes you really good at time management. When you have so much to do, it makes you able to do everything that you want.
There's a lot of prioritizing that goes into it. When you have Falcon periods free, I might not be able to spend it just talking with my friends. I just need to make sure to get my work done.
I make it work. I make theater top priority, therefore everything else kind of falls behind. So I make it work by making everything else not as important. And because I know I'm expected to show up there and give it 100%, so I give it 100% as well.
I really don't know. You just kind of do it. You never go home. You find time to get stuff done, whether it's when you're not doing things in rehearsal or whatever.
See, the thing is, I'm often always doing a whole bunch of stuff, so I've never seen my grades do pretty much anything because I've always been doing something, so I haven't had that opportunity to not be doing something to understand what it would be like to to have that happen. But but I'm sure that I wouldn't be as motivated to do things if I wasn't doing show season, because there's that feeling of I have to do this now, rather than, oh, I'll do this after, you know, I laze around for a bit, watch TV, eat some, you know, snacks, and then maybe I'll do it later. And I have gotten that feeling on occasion. So I mean, during show season I can't get that, and it motivates me to do better.
I guess overall they probably suffer. I mean, not that much, but there is a slight decrease that you can notice.
They stay the same. I mean, it's a little harder, but honestly, they stay the same. Because I think it's more the timing of the shows, especially. Like, with the musicals, we usually started by summer and ended by only like the second month of school, which I think, you know, a lot of people don't really put that much pressure on you yet. Now, during the spring plays, it's a little different because you're nearing the end of the year and you're starting to really get prepared on it. But honestly, I still put in the same work, and I feel like a lot of people do. We might be really tired, but we know how to manage ourselves, especially after a year or two of the show. You learn how to manage your time and how to manage your sleep and make everything else work, but still putting all the time in the theater.
They kind of stay the same, because when teachers try to like yell at me for not doing homework, I'm like, listen, you don't know anything, like, it's fine, whatever, take up points if you need to, but like, doesn't mean I'm going to do it, because I don't have time for homework during swimming and play at all, because I'm at swimming at 5:30 in the morning, we're lifting, and then I'm here. I will go right from school to swimming until like 5:30 at night, and then play practice starts at 6:30, so I have an hour to eat and do all that stuff, and sometimes I squeeze homework into there, but yeah, I don't really have time for homework.
They stay pretty much the same. I'm actually able to study a lot backstage. Like when the performances first begin, like when we're practicing for it, you have a lot of downtime because Mars is working with individuals a lot, trying to get, you know, the choreography or all the blocking down. So if you're sitting backstage and you don't have anything to do, you can do homework or study. So I'm able to keep up for the most part.
I feel that my grades probably get better during show season just because it keeps me busy and I don't just go home and do nothing, and I actually get stuff done that way.
I'd say they stay the same.
My grades, they drop a little bit during the show season, but they're really not too bad. The real drops at the end of everything when I'm just done. But no, it's a challenge, but if you work hard, you can keep your grades up.
I think they get better, honestly. I do better in school when I have no time to get things done. I don't know, I just am really motivated then, I guess.
Oh my gosh, there's so many. Every time anyone's ever cheered for me is my most memorable experience. Probably my first opening night is definitely up among my favorites, because it was my first time I'd ever performed on stage in my entire life, and I walked out on stage, and it was my first entrance I've ever made, and I had this big speech to make, and it was like, welcome to the something something state fair, and there were lights. Like, it was full bright, and they were all in my eyes, and I had no idea that was gonna happen at the time. So I was just staring up into these lights, and like I didn't think there was anybody in the audience because I couldn't see past the lights. And then I had this really big drunk scene, and it was a great time, and it had never made anybody laugh before, so I wasn't prepared when the entire audience started cracking up, and that was probably one of the coolest moments I've ever had in my entire life. Like, everybody just going crazy, and nobody ever done it, so it was a complete surprise to me. I forgot like half my lines, but it was still funny. So that was probably my most memorable experience.
Flora brought me my boyfriend, and we're still together to this day. I developed so much confidence being in Flora, having Mars yell my lines at me and making me yell them back. I was so quiet and so afraid, and now I can't imagine not being on a stage.
I just like the performances, because even though you get all nervous right beforehand, like you're gonna do something wrong or something, whatever, it's always worth it, because everyone always enjoys the shows, and I love being a part of that.
I think my most memorable experience was definitely when we did Steel Pier, because for me that's when we had, I think, the largest cast we've had in a long time. A lot of close connections made. It's when our family, I think, was the biggest. It was just a lot of fun because I remember we had to learn a lot of dances for that show, and almost everyone was hopeless at it. So it was definitely fun just being with a large group, all learning dances. It built a really strong sense of, team.
Probably Steel Pier in general. I loved that show. Everyone involved. It was a lot of fun. That would probably just be being a part of theater because I haven't really been in any shows yet. Like acting, I played the piano in the first one and I was a doorbell in the second one. So I feel like I don't really have any very memorable moments yet.
I guess this year's shows have been really memorable. I think one of my more memorable experiences was being able to do chess after breaking my ankle and thinking that everything was done, and still being able to do the show and actually, in my opinion, kind of make the character better with such a, disability, I guess you'd call it at the time. I feel like that's really memorable that I was able to pull that off, and Mars allowed me to pull it off, and everyone helped me to pull it off. I just think that's one of my favorite things. Just the entire show of chess was actually memorable, but don't rule out any of the other shows I've been in, because those are cool too.
My most memorable experience would probably have to be this past fall when I did chess my senior year, this past year. Mostly because it was probably one of the most challenging shows I've ever done. And it was really, I had to be emotionally invested into my character, and I don't know, it was really difficult for me, but then it made it so much better because of all that I put into it. It was my favorite, so.
It's been great, and if anyone ever, is on the fence about trying it, always audition. The worst that can happen is, someone says no, which, we have such small numbers that never happens anyway, and it's just a blast. I can't think of anything else I'd rather be doing.
I've loved my experience here because I've seen a lot of shows around the Lehigh Valley, and they're all very they seem similar. They're all the same shows kind of over and over again. And I think what we do at Salisbury here is different, and it's a different approach, and I like it a lot better because you get to explore things that you wouldn't ordinarily get to explore. If I want to, find out about, Wicked or Hello Dolly or, all the shows that everybody does, I would, go watch one of them. But it's not every day you're gonna see how they run put on, or shows of that, and they're very, very good shows that I would never have discovered otherwise.
Mars is pretty amazing, and we all hate Joe Skibbins, and that's about it.
I'm just really glad that I've been involved my whole life because it's made me more confident and a better communicator, and I suggest that everyone should be involved in theater.
It's very positive. It's one of the most fun things I've ever done, and I'm sad I didn't do more shows, but I'm still glad I did the ones that I did. So if anyone's ever thinking about going out for it, please go out for it. I think we're going to need some more people.
And no, it's great. Everyone should do it.
Just thank you. Thank you so much, Mars, for everything you've done. Thank you to Mama B, who's there to play piano. I appreciate everything you guys have done for me. And I'm going to miss you so much next year.
We are all aware of reputation, but one empty chair is condemnation of a man who blew himself with dishonor. No one gives a damn for his dilemma, just another scam. We're sick of them, a lot of jobs at stake with Russia's prima donna. We can hardly begin to imagine
Mr. Humphrey? Did anyone call?
What's going on here, eh? Blimey! 1, 2, 3, 4. What's this? The crow's nest?
Sergeant, arrest most of these victims.
People, may you keep quiet.
Well then, who are all these people? They can't all be Mr. Humphrey.
Now, you pipe down, your bishopric, and I'll ask the questions. Sit down, everybody. Now then, one of my lads found these in the garden just now. The clothes the Russian was wearing when he opted.
I must speak.
Sit down. Now it stands to reason that if he's got rid of these, then he must be wearing clothes that don't belong to him.
If he's wearing any clothes at all.
Shut up! And as these was found in the vicarage garden, it's as likely as not that he's wearing a suit of clothes while he's pinched off a vicar.
Most probable. I'm so sorry.
I won't. So what we have to look out for is a man dressed as a parson.
Yes, he's quite right.
A man dressed as a parson.
No,
Half a minute. This isn't a parish council meeting.
Excuse me.
Who the hell are you?
I beg yours. This is Ida, my maid.
Your maid, eh?
Yes. What is it, Ida?
So you're the maid, are you?
Not very quick on the uptake, are you? Have a word with you, Mum, alone.
No, you can't. Nobody leaves this room till I do the work.
What? What's happened?
Never you mind, my girl. Just out you go and take your lucky stars you're not mixed up in it. Or are you? No, you couldn't be.
Oh, dear, what have you all been up to?
Goodbye, Ida. Here's 10 shillings for you.
But you...
No, don't thank me now. One word of advice before you go. Read it twice before you expend it. Quickly.
So which of you is the vicar here?
I am.
He is.
That gentleman.
I shall repeat my question. Which of you, if any, is the vicar here?
Yes.
Blimey! I shall repeat my question just once more. Which of you is the vicar here? So, you won't talk, eh? Lost your tongues now, have you?
My good sword.
Now then, none of your soft soap.
Humor him, old boy. Humor him. Call him General. Ask him what he did at Ladysmith.
What did you do to Lady Smith?
What's this? You two in this together, are you?
Good Lord, no.
Is he the vicar here?
No. Are you the vicar here?
You know very well that I'm not.
How does he know that you're not?
Because he is the vicar.
I must protest!
Sergeant! I must point out that the obvious way to find out who is the vicar here is to ask his wife.
Now, there's something in that. I suppose you are the vicar's wife.
Yes, Sergeant.
Then, which of this lot is your husband?
This is my husband.
What? That's a lie! I told you I'm my wife's husband! Penelope, have you gone mad? I told you I'm the vicar of this parish, and that lady is my wife!
Then, why doesn't she say she is?
For heaven's sake, tell this man the truth!
Ah, truth will out. That's what I always say. What do you always say?
Shut up!
I've noticed that.
Your identification card, if you please.
I do not carry my identification card in my pajamas!
Defaulter number 1, your identification card, if you please.
It's in my other suit.
Defaulter number 2, your identification card, if you please.
So that's Betty Grable. Oh, I must have left it at home. Very naughty of me.
Very. Defaulter number 3, your identification card.
If you please, believe it or not, Sergeant, I am the ghost of Hamlet's father. I have not got an identity card.
Defaulter number 4, oh, a common parson, eh? Well, you don't make me laugh. Your identification card.
Certainly, Sergeant.
Blimey, he's got one. Tone Blindall, the vicarage, Merton Commiddlewich.
You villain! That is my card! That is my identification card! And those are my clothes! That man knocked me down and took them from me!
I think it's a great experience, not only for the students who do it, but for students who also come, because you get to watch different shows and you get to see all the different people performing, and it's just really, really neat to see.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's a great opportunity for all of the students, and Mr. Marzico did an awesome job.
I honestly love the theater program. I think the productions, they could pick a few more popular ones, like a few more popular productions that a lot of people know, so that would draw a lot more people to come. But I do like the fact that Marzico does choose some ones that aren't well known and just not overplayed. So I actually really like it.
I think it's great. I think the kids put an awful lot of work into it. I think that it's, how do I put it? It's one of the, it's something that has really enriched Jerry's life, my son Jerry's life. He has a bunch of friends from theater. He seems to enjoy his time there. He doesn't mind putting in late nights till midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, whatever you guys run into, to get the work done. And I think it's a place where people go to have fellowship, to be together, to work towards a goal. And it's a goal that you can actually see and everybody else can see. It's not something where you work on an art project and maybe 1 or 2 people see it. You're in an audience of, how much does it hold? 500, 400, 1,000, I don't even know how much it is, for only 3 nights. And you work for 2 months, and I see these kids working selflessly for 2 months for those 3 nights. And it's a real sense of accomplishment for him, and it's a real sense of pride for me. So I love the Salisbury Theatre program.
I like the energy and the connections that the actors put on stage. You can tell that they're kind of a family and that they just have this excellent chemistry that works so well on stage.
My favorite thing, other than them being great, is that I get to see my friends up on stage, and it's just a really cool experience.
The dedication of the kids and the teachers that are involved.
What I like best about them? The attention to detail. I think there's a lot of, if you look at the sets, if you look at the way it's choreographed, even if it isn't dancing, and you look at the way that everybody is so well rehearsed, it seems like down to the step. I've seen the night that plays 3 nights in a row, and everybody seems to be doing it not exactly the same way because it's a live show, but almost exactly the same way. It actually shows the hard work. So I think the attention to detail is what I like the best about it.
I don't like the fact that they're not that. The shows that are picked aren't well known to people, which kind of tends to draw a crowd away. And so now the only people who are really coming are friends of the actors or family members.
I kind of sometimes wish that they would be able to include more cast members. I would be able to see more people. Some of the shows only have a few people in them, so I would like to see more people in it. I wish it was more than 3 nights. I say that now, not after having sat through 3 nights, but I think it would be better if the kids would get to show off a little bit more. I don't know how that's possible, maybe to do it in a different area or do it for maybe old folks or something at some point, but I think that's what I like least about it.
Oh, least. I guess that they don't get enough credit where credit is due.
It's amazing. A lot of my friends are in it, so I can see how the toll of them performing and practicing all the time is on them, and it's so amazing that they can give up their time to create such a great show.
Oh, I think it's amazing. The kids are awesome and everybody's staying as late as they are, and it's just wonderful. They did a great job with both shows this year.
I think it's great how much time is spent on the shows and how much dedication that all of the performers have and all the like backstage crew has. And just like I said earlier, the chemistry with them is just amazing.
Well, as anybody who's been in this, with the program or has observed it as a parent, it's an amazing amount of time and effort. But I don't think it's wasted time or effort. I think that actually working towards that goal, I've seen Jerry work harder than he's worked on anything else in his life, just for those 3 nights again. So yes, there's a lot of time and effort put into it, but I don't think any of it's wasted.
It's great. It's a small community, but everybody pulls together and they did a great job, and I think that everybody got an equal opportunity to participate and they did wonderful.
I think it's run great because I don't know how it's run. I don't hear a lot of negative things. I don't hear a lot of positive things. I don't hear anything. And to tell you the truth, I think that's great. I don't want to know what's going on behind the scenes. I don't want to know if somebody should have got the part and somebody else did it. I don't hear a lot of that type of thing. So it seems seamless from the outside to me as a parent. So I'm thrilled by it.
I don't see you guys right, the kind of mate I'm contemplating. I bet you what, I wouldn't invite you, but the queens we use would not excite you. So you better go back to your bars, your temples, your massage parlors,